Today's Toy Spot, we are having a look at the NECA Toys Terminator 2 Endoglow, the SDCC 2015 convention exclusive. Continuing with the SDCC exclusives from the folks over at NECA Toys, we're looking at the glow-in-the-dark version of the Terminator 2 Endoskeleton. One really neat aspect about this, well, two really neat aspects of this. A, it glows. I'll show you that when we get this out of packaging. It also comes with a phased plasma rifle. Interesting enough. But the card looks like an old Kenner card from the old Terminator 2 line. That's really cool. Down below you can even see how NECA has their font exactly similar to Kenner. A nice touch. This is a San Diego Comic-Con 2015 convention exclusive, so if you had a chance to pick this up at the convention, if not, you'll probably have to pick this up online. Spin around the back of the package, and they've done the layout exactly the same way as the original Kenner series, which is really cool. The Endoglow Terminator has had all its bioflesh melted away in a nuclear war, and his endoskeleton now glows in the dark. The phased plasma rifle can be used to stop any foe in his way. Shows you how it glows up at the top. Again, I'll show you that. Terminator 2 figures are T-800, T-800 Man or Machine, the Pescadero Escape, Cyberdyne Showdown, Final Battle, and Steel Mill. We've also got Battle Across Time, the Endoskeleton, Battle Damaged Endoskeleton, T-1000 from Galleria Mall, Liquid Metal T-1000, T-1000 Motorcycle Cop, Liquid Nitrogen, Pescadero Hospital, and Steel Mill. To check out more from the folks over at NECA, go to www.necaonline.com. Spot's going to take a break, get this opened up, and when we come back, we're going to get a better look at the SDCC 2015 convention exclusive, the Endoglow Endoskeleton. There's more heading away, guys. Don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. The accessories to be included with the Endoglow Endoskeleton is the phased plasma rifle. The plasma rifle matches the same paint deco as the Endoskeleton I'll show you in a second. So it's a silver treated piece, while it's got the dark wash, giving it that aged and used in the battlefield metallic look. A really nice touch. Here's what it looks like on the other side. It's essentially the exact same sculpt on both sides. You can take the plasma rifle, put it into his hand, like that. And he does a pretty good job of holding it, considering the frame of his hands and arms are very small and fine. He does a pretty good job, though, of holding it. And you can see how the coloring matches that of his arms, his lower legs, his lower torso, and the upper torso just before you get to the head. Just take this out of his hand. You can see right away the areas on the endoskeleton that will be glowing, and those would be the thigh leg area just before you get to the kneecap, this torso section here, as well as his head will all glow in the dark. The rest of it, however, is this very nice silver and the dark wash metallic color that we had already discussed with the plasma rifle. It uses the same mold as the endoskeleton that we've seen before from the Terminator line. So really that in itself is not much different to it, but NECA always finds a way to deliver a re-release of an existing figure by giving us a fantastic paint sculpt. Let's have a look at his face. We'll just bring the camera up, bring the camera in. It is the same face, very sinister for really a machine. The endoskeleton has always had a really nightmarish look to it. Not something that you would want to be seeing in the battlefield. NECA has recreated that perfectly in figure form. What I do like, though, is that despite the fact that this is a re-release, the glow-in-the-dark aspects, before we even have them glowing in the dark, I'll show you that, don't worry, but the glow-in-the-dark pieces of on the endoskeleton here have this almost cloudy, well, it's translucent, but it's not just a straight, like if it was just the coloring of what glow-in-the-dark tends to be, I'd feel a little disappointed, but they put a dark wash on all those areas that are glow in the dark, that it makes it almost look part of the metal. Like if you weren't having the glow in the dark feature working like in the dark, I could really buy that all of this is theoretically part of the same machine. It doesn't look like it stands out. It's not too jarring. Now granted, it doesn't areas when you start looking at the pistons that are connected to the legs, I think the legs are the more clearer aspects to it. But I think it's still something that theoretically could work as a version of the endoskeleton. The whole back of it doesn't really have any of the glow-in-the-dark pieces to it, excluding, of course, the legs, which occupy the full piece, whereas the torso, of course, will only occupy the front. The back will still remain that metallic coloring. It's really nice, though. Before we get to the glow-in-the-dark features, of course, let's look at the articulation. His head, or its head, does slightly rotate, but not very much, though. There's so many pistons and little tubes and areas attached to the head. I wouldn't even want to entertain the idea of turning this too much for risk that it could break some of those little hoses and wires connected to the head. The torso is interesting enough that it does rotate, but as you see, as you rotate it, the pistons move in and out. And that, again, really nice mechanics. The arms hinge out. They hinge forward and back easily enough. The hose seems to have enough allotment. The little hose that connects from the torso piece to the shoulder seems to allot enough clearance that you can even move the arms forward and it doesn't look like it's going to add stress to these. I would not want these to come off. So no, it does a pretty good job. It does not hinder it at all. It has a swivel point in the top bicep area right below the shoulder area there. A single hinged elbow, a rotation in the hand. And then when you get to the legs are neat. You move the legs out and you can see how those pistons work. Move the other leg out, again, how those pistons move in and out. A really, again, marveling at mechanics and how something is manufactured by a toy company, sometimes very clever, and NECA really delivered when it came to designing this piece. It's not the first endoskeleton. We've gotten endoskeletons before, but man, they really did up their game with the newer releases here. Finally, the legs hinge at the kneecap, or the equivalent of what a kneecap would be, and it has not only a rotation in the foot, where that ball joint, literally the ball heel of the endoskeleton is, but it also has a hinge in the foot, so you can move the foot up and down. So that pretty much in a nutshell is the Endoglow endoskeleton. So, of course, the next thing we want to do, we've been talking away. It's been doing a pretty good job of absorbing the light, no doubt. So we're going to cut the lights. We're going to see how well this glows in the dark. And with the cameras cut, you can see how well it glows in the dark. I feel almost as if the camera's not picking it up as well as in person, but it's glowing a nice bright green. From the back, you won't see much other than the legs, but from the front, it definitely does a great job of glowing in the dark. The Endoglow Endoskeleton SDCC exclusive is a really great looking piece. It takes all the aspects that I liked so much about the original Endoskeleton and elevates it in a way that only NECA can deliver. The glow-in-the-dark pieces work extremely well when lit with the lamp lights that we've had it going on this whole time. Now granted, you could also have it sitting a little bit longer under the lamplight, and the effects would be much brighter. At the end of the day, though, taking an existing figure and finding a new way to deliver it to the customers is one thing that NECA does very, very well. Today's Toy Spot, we were having a look at the SDCC 2015 convention exclusive, the NECA Terminator 2 Endoglow Endoskeleton. Stay tuned, guys. Spot's going to have more Toy Spots heading your way. Thanks for watching as you always do. I'll see you next time.